report listed at 7 miles. Not too bad. But on the traffic cameras, that fog is more dense in some areas out there. So be prepared. Traffic update from 98.7 and 1330 KNSS. The Accident Recovery Team Traffic Center, I'm Jad Chambers.
Weather.
After a few isolated morning showers, we'll see slow clearing this afternoon and a warmer day with a high of 79. Southeast breeze 5 to 15. Becoming partly cloudy, mild tonight, 63 is the low. Mostly sunny and warmer on Wednesday, a high of 83. Partly cloudy, breezy, and a high of 80 on Thursday. That's your forecast from Storm Team 12. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn.
Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH Wichita, KNSS HD2 Clearwater, and Odyssey Sports Station.
Hey Wichita, it's Jacob Albrock. Stay right there for the latest breaking in sports talk. It's Sports Daily coming up next exclusively on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Jim Rome here with your Rome Report. Another weekend and even more bizarre activity around the NFL, but nothing as bizarre or as violent as what went down in Indianapolis. And I'm not talking about the Colts destroying the Raiders. I'm talking about former NFLer and current Fox broadcaster Mark Sanchez allegedly attacking a 69-year-old truck driver over a parking space, resulting in an altercation that left both badly injured and hospitalized. But it was Sanchez who was deemed the aggressor and hit with a bevy of charges, including a level 5 felony of causing serious injury, where punishment can reportedly range from 1 to 6 years in prison. Sanchez reportedly told police he had very little recollection of the night and didn't even know who stabbed him or where the incident occurred. The investigation continues, but it would appear already that that's not just a really bad night for Sanchez, but he apparently is a really bad dude who has some really significant issues, and it could still get even worse. I'm Jim Rome. Remember, you can follow me on Instagram at Jim Rome. Basketball is back, football season is heating up, and Prize Picks is making this sports season even more fun. So don't miss any of the action this season with Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Download the Prize Picks app today, use the code ROME, and get a $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. That's code ROME on Prize Picks to get a $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. Win or lose, you'll get the $50 bonus credit in lineups just for playing. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. You do have to be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH, this is Sports Daily.
Well, hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday to you here on Sports Daily. Jacob Albrock, TJ Cleland alongside you as we wrap up a week of football with a Monday Night Football doubleheader. Couple winners there. We'll get to that. Major League Baseball playoffs in full swing. We continue to review the college football week. We've got the voice of the Wildcats, Wyatt Thompson, in with us to look back at the TCU win for KState. Begin to crack the door a little bit on the Sunflower Showdown. I want to spend a little time today, too, with KState basketball. It's a topic we haven't talked about much at all. In the Cats, and all the attention's been on KU and Darren Peterson, and of course the Shockers around here doing their thing with scrimmages. We haven't talked much at all about the Cats class. Wonder what Wyatt's seen out of them in some of the early practices. So I'll have that for you as well. And then a couple of things are on my mind as topics today that you would be great for some feedback on. One, as the Bills lose last night on Monday Night Football, like who's the best team in football right now?
I have no idea.
Who is it? Who's the best team in football? And then the other thing I want to do is revisit the 2024 quarterback class. 3 of them started games last night. How would you rank them so far? in their young careers. Of course, the success last year would go to Jaden Daniels, but this year they've all been kind of good. So we'll look at that as well. A couple of fun topics we'd love your commentary on. I'm Jacob Albrecht alongside TJ Cleveland. It's all What's on Tap, brought to you by Wichita Brewing Company. Patio season, smash a Yumkin pumpkin on Delano's rooftop deck. Enjoy happy hour at WBC East, newly remodeled patio. Or go grab a pizza outside, shielded from the setting sun at Wichita Brewing Company West. When you think patio, think Wichita Brewing Company. Pizza and beer made here. TJ, did you survive the Sunday-Monday turn there?
I did. There was a lot of sleeping going on yesterday, so we're still in recovery mode here. But we'll be raring, ready to go tomorrow morning. But today we're gonna give it our solid 90%. I got 90 in the tank. We're gonna let it fly.
Yeah, it was. I went and watched Monday Night Football. A couple buddies last night, so stayed up probably a little later than I should. Back-to-back nights, but we're doing good. We're ready to rock and roll. I love the Monday Night Football doubleheaders. We've talked about it. I like the format they used last night better than the format they'll use next week, which is to go a true doubleheader and not start the second game until pretty late. But it's fun. It's a good way to do it. I think it's something the NFL should really consider. It gets me pretty fired up for a Monday night. I mean, it's good stuff. So we'll revisit those. Just a real quick recap because we'll have Wyatt Thompson in next. Buffalo falls to the Falcons 24-14. Chicago takes down Washington on a game-winning field goal 25-24. A couple of good games. Hopefully people were able to make some money on them. There were plenty of yardage and things like that for people to maybe do that. I made a little money, TJ. I sent you this. So on Monday nights there's a promo on the ESPN app for first touchdowns. And so maybe I mentioned this last week. I'm on a heater with those first touchdowns on that promo. I hit the Caleb Williams first touchdown last night, 20-1. And I max betted on that promo. And it was awesome. I couldn't believe it. I had mentioned it in a thread with people, like just being ridiculous. Like, yeah, this is a support line for all of our ridiculous bets, blah, blah, blah. Just like we're going to have Caleb Williams score the first touchdown tonight. And then I put the kids to bed. My phone starts blowing up and I'm like, what happened? And then I'm like, they're lying. There's no way. And then there it is. There it is. Feeling good. See, that's the thing. I stayed up a little too late last night, but nothing's raining on my parade today. No.
Yeah, I was gonna say you weren't gonna sleep last night after that for a while. Yeah, you had to go do something. So, yeah, 2 in a row. You hit Travis Kelce last week too, right?
I hit Bo Nix on that last Monday night doubleheader. That's 3. That's 3 of them I've hit in the last 3 or 4 weeks. It's just been fun.
Yeah. That's nuts.
Been a good bet. So anyway, Atlanta takes down Buffalo in the first one, 24-14. And that's the one that kind of has us pondering who the best team in football is right now. I legitimately don't know who I would tell you. I'm so hesitant because it feels like a cop-out to a lot of people. But I'm telling you right now, the way the Chiefs are playing offensively, I'm not sure I'm definitively putting anybody ahead of them. Tampa Bay is the closest the way they've played. Tampa Bay's 5-1. They've played some close games, but they've beaten some good teams. They beat Seattle. They beat San Francisco. They were tight with Philadelphia. But then they kind of were tight with the Jets. They beat the Falcons on the road to open the season. So I want to, and the thing about them is they've done it missing guys, right? They've been missing Mike Evans for a long time. Chris Godwin hasn't really been there. So they're kind of like, they remind me, honestly, a little bit of the Chiefs. What about if they get full strength at any point? Bucky Irving's been out for them. What if they get Irving and Evans and Godwin back with what they have? Are they in consideration? I think they've got to be. San Francisco, you'd love to put up there, but man, they don't have anybody healthy. They're missing their 2 best defensive players now, along with most of their offensive players. I don't know how much people believe in Seattle. I really like the Rams when they're healthy, but they've got an injury now to Puka Nacua. The league's turning upside down, and a lot of it has to do with injuries. And then you look at the Chiefs, and they kind of have had their missing players, and now they're catching them. And then with all of it, TJ, you remember, man, we're only a third of the way through the regular season. The NFL is a bloodbath, and a part of it is who can stay healthy. And a lot of really good teams right now are not healthy. And a lot of teams that we feel like are good right now are not going to be healthy by the end of the year. They're going to lose players. So it's a battle of attrition this year as much as any we've ever seen.
It's crazy.
There's no definitive answer.
It's nuts. Just to speak on that last point you just made, I listened to Scott Van Pelt's podcast, and they talk about college football a ton, and they're like, we are just to the point where we're learning what the playoff is probably going to kind of look like. And it's like, and then we got 5 weeks left. Like, it's almost over in college football. And the NFL, like you said, we still have 2/3 of the season left. It's crazy how much is going to change between now and January and everything like that. Because I don't think anybody in the world right now has their bet slip firing of the Colts versus the Bucks in the Super Bowl.
No, I look, and you can go by Super Bowl odds. The big thing on this is it looked like it was going to be the Bills as the favorite, right? And it wasn't too much of a debate. And then they've laid eggs all over the place. They're still with Kansas City, the betting favorites. It's Buffalo and Kansas City, and then Green Bay follows, and then Detroit, Philadelphia, and the Rams. But nobody is I mean, your best odds right now, you're not best, but the shortest odds are Buffalo and Kansas City at 6.5 to 1. That's basically where Kansas City opened the season. So it's not, and then it makes you wonder, well, like a team like the Ravens, if they get Lamar Jackson, can they climb back in there? It's a fun year. It's been a long time. I don't remember the last year where we felt this wide open 6 weeks into a football season. But think about it. We've also got to get to our hot dog poll. I haven't even checked our hot dog poll results from yesterday. I'm sure it's a bloodbath. It was bad early for me. But we'll check in on that as well, too. And then think about those quarterbacks from the 2024 class. Who you taking? And in what order are you taking them? But Wyatt Thompson joins us next. We'll talk a little K-State sports when we return on Sports Daily.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
831001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issue a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
FH. And now, digging deeper with the teams you follow, it's another Sports Daily Insider interview on KFH.
And we welcome you back in here with the voice of the Wildcats, Wyatt Thompson, joining us here. Wyatt, it's a good feeling going into the bye. The K-State Wildcats get not just the win against TCU, but they kind of get contributions from everybody in the win, and they can. Well, you can build on that a little bit. You can talk about that if you're the coaches. It's a good thing to have to look at for 2 weeks. How are you this morning?
Oh, I'm good. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. It really was a satisfying bounce back, I guess I'll call it, after the real disappointment of, letting one slip away the week before in Waco against the Baylor Bears, losing 35-34 after having a, 31-17 lead in the fourth quarter. And I thought you said it well there, Jacob, because there were a lot of guys that had a hand in it. I mean, you probably start with Desmond Purnell, who was the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week. He had the pick six, couple of interceptions, just a superb effort. Wesley Fair, a young man from Wichita who had that return on the backwards pass. So 2 defensive touchdowns are really big. I thought it was one of K-State's better games in running the football. Joe Jackson had his first career 100-yard game without, Dylan Edwards available, which was great. And you could probably also talk about Garrett Oakley. He had a couple of touchdown catches and 4 for, 71 on the day. So a lot of good things. I think the effort was good. Still, Coach will tell you there are some things that they want to clean up. But I think they are it may be a slow process, but I think they are still getting better, and I think they're still playing with purpose, and that's what you want.
Wyatt, what is the biggest difference that we saw this week? We talked about what this defense was early on against Army. The struggles that they had, they were just all gone. Obviously you'd hope that happens overnight, but what was the difference that we've seen? Between a Baylor team that just was able to do what they did in the fourth quarter a week ago to what we saw just a couple days ago.
I would say probably the two things that stick out the most to me would be the improvement that we've seen in the last 3 games in K-State's offensive line. I think Devin Bass getting in there and being able to play a couple of different spots and particularly kind of locking down now a starting spot at the right guard position is really, really good. And then secondarily, and I admit that TCU is a throwing team and has had trouble running the ball, but I thought K-State's run defense, when you can make them one-dimensional, every coach in the world says that, it makes a difference. I thought they put some pressure, quite a bit of pressure on Hoover. I didn't think that he particularly threw the ball as accurately as he normally does. Maybe that was a little bit of K-State's pressure. So I would look at those things. And again, maybe just the enthusiasm, the effort too. Those things have been, quite a bit better here lately.
When we look at it, is it real though? I mean, TCU still did kind of pile up some yards. Hoover, I agree, wasn't his best game, but at the end of the day, he did have 376 yards. I want to feel great about the defense because they, made the plays and scored a couple of touchdowns, but they did give up production. Yep. So what which are we supposed to believe there? Is the defense good again, or
Yeah. It's a really great thought because I think you have to accept and talk about both. I think we've seen improvement, especially in the effort, but again, they're each and every week they seem to be hurt by 2 or 3 or 4 what I'll call shock plays. And unfortunately for K-State, a couple of those later in the game Saturday came against Zayshawn Rich, probably their best corner. I mean, Zayshawn's been playing really good football, but they got him a couple of times there late in the game. So I don't know if that's a quick fix, an easy fix. I'm going to guess probably not, but I think we're talking about a really talented but young player there and a first-time starter. So hopefully you can get a little bit better. And, losing Toby Osensami really hurts because he's your number 1 pass rushing guy. But that's where I think K-State at least has potential to, maybe not in every single game because every team is different, but they've got to get more pressure on quarterbacks. And one thing that hasn't been talked about a lot, they've been better recently forcing turnovers, and that was obvious Saturday. They did a good job in the Baylor game with that, and so on. So there's the truth is it's a little bit of both. We're fence riding there, right? I get it, but you got to talk about both because you can't continue to give up that many big shock kind of plays.
Wyatt, one thing you mentioned whenever you started here is the effort that Joe Jackson had on the offense. We sat here for weeks basically talking about how different of a team this was without Dylan Edwards playing running back because you don't have a guy that you can hand the ball off to, consistently and get results and everything like that. They had that in Joe Jackson, and you see what happened. So I don't think it was more so a Dylan Edwards thing. It was just whoever wanted to do it that week. It happened to be Joe Jackson this week. How big of a deal is it if he can keep doing that?
Well, I think it's really big, honestly, because, Joe even told us after the game that this is a different deal in terms of him running with purpose, passion, effort, strength, toughness, whatever you want to call that, all the above. I think it was very apparent, and I'm sure you guys probably saw the same things I did. I really like Joe. I mean, is he DJ Giddens? No. Is he Dylan Edwards? No. But I think he can be a guy that can be, a serviceable or above serviceable type player because of his abilities, because of his ability to catch the ball. But he needs to play at that, quality optimum level, I believe, just because it takes him up a level in performance. I think everybody sees that. I think Devon is still kind of coming around. I'm not sure where we sit today with Dylan Edwards. I would love to think that he would be available for the KU game, but we don't know that. There's speculation out there that, he may be, a little ways away yet, but maybe not. We've seen this thing be a little bit up and down with that ankle, and maybe it'll continue to be that way for a little bit, but he would make a difference, a week from Saturday too. No question about that.
Yeah, let's talk about a week from Saturday a little bit. Wyatt Thompson, voice of the Wildcats, joining us. The question, you probably get this too, like, could K-State, could the streak get snapped this year? It's a question I get all the time. And my answer to it is absolutely. I don't think KU is as good as they have been, as talented, I'll call it, as they have been. But they have Jalen Daniels, who's back to normal, playing like Superman this year.
Yeah.
They're at home. K-State is clearly flawed. So, yeah, I mean, it is. The Cats are going to have to bring it. I think they'll be favored. I think K-State's going to be the favorite in the game. But it feels like they're as vulnerable as they have been in the last decade, at least in this one.
Well, and I think you could probably argue too that this has been in the previous two games about as competitive as it has been in quite some time. KU had a real chance to win the game last year. No doubt about that.
Yep.
Everybody sees that they're better. Are they as good as they were a year ago? I think you could argue that all day long. What I would say is when you have number 6, Jalen Daniels, it gives you a chance. He's a special talent. I don't know that they have the same, all due respect, I think the receivers have been good, but they replaced 3 guys that were dynamite and a running back who might have been as good as anybody in college football. And I mean that sincerely. Devin Neal could really play. So you could argue that they may not be quite as explosive as they were last year. And yet, hey, I'm sure you guys watched some, if not all, of the game at Tech. They were kind of getting manhandled, and they go to half, and they're only down 21-17. That tells me they can compete with anybody, anywhere, and I think they will. So, yeah, there's been risk for a while, and it's been a remarkable streak. I don't think any of us on the side wearing purple want to see it end. It's been a lot of fun, right? But you got to give them credit for what they've done, and I think it's going to be a dandy ball game. I don't know why you wouldn't expect real thrills in this one, honestly.
It's just poetic that they both get buys beforehand too, heading into it. It's going to have all the drama in the world in this one. We'll switch gears over here. We'll talk about some basketball really quick. The preseason AP Top 25 coming out yesterday. K-State receiving votes. I don't know if you saw this, Jacob. I'll tell you this really quick. K-State received votes, 13 votes, so unofficially the 31st team in the AP poll. So 13 votes received. It wasn't 13 votes at number 25. One Michigan State reporter, Carter Eargood, put the K-State Wildcats at 13th in his top 25. So wild stuff there. But this team is going to be awesome, Wyatt. PJ Haggerty, we watched him a ton in the American Conference at Tulsa, at Memphis. What do you expect? What's the elevator pitch about this team?
Well, I am excited about PJ to start with. It's really a rarity, in all honesty, even in this day and age with the transfer portal. Think about this for a moment, where you can bring somebody in that was an All-American from a year ago and average 20.5 points a game. That is rare. And he's a very unique talent in watching him. And I saw him a couple of times last week in scrimmage situations, and he just is a scorer. I don't know if he's just a splash shooter necessarily, but he knows how to score the basketball. He just plays. I think K-State's got a couple of kids that are like that. I'm not saying Nate Johnson's the same kind of skill set, but Nate plays like that, confidently, strong, tough, can score in a variety of ways. So it would be nice to have those two guys with a large amount of experience. I think after that, you'd probably, look in several different areas, but the one guy that has caught the coaches I think they've really been surprised at Abdi Bashir and what he's doing and the way he's shooting the ball. He really is a smooth-looking player. You've got the 3 foreign talents that I think will help a lot. The Serbian kid, Andre Kostic, I think you'll really like his ability. I mean, I'm just telling you, we were talking a year ago how good a shooter Brendan Hassan was. This kid's a better shooter, 100%. Really? I'm just being truthful about that. I think he is. Someday he'll be an NBA guy. Um, Elias, I think, is another guy at 6'8" and 230 that's going to help. So there are a lot of pieces, but it's all about putting it together, right? And I think they really like this group, and they're going to get tested right out of the gate. A week from Friday, we'll be in Columbia, Missouri for an exhibition game there, and people can see that on the SEC network if they want, or listen to Stan and I there. But I can't wait to get it going just to see what they are. It's not going to be a finished product right out of the gate. And they've got an interesting schedule with Indiana and, Creighton and some of those types of teams. But hey, you got to get ready to play in this league, man. You can be really good and be in the middle of the pack.
Yeah, it's interesting too. And Wyatt Thompson joining us, we're talking a little hoops for K-State. I think there has been fair criticism of Jerome Tang in the first few years and what he's done on running an offense and what is the offense that's being run. I think that's been fair. When he was on top of the world, when the Cats were, they kind of just let a couple of guys run it, and Haggerty's there, and that's what he did. We got to see Haggerty a ton, obviously, right, here at Wichita State, playing Wichita State, but that seems like such a nice fit for them, because we do struggle sometimes, the amateur basketball minds. I'll put myself very much in that category to follow along with what is the offense they're trying to run here. It just seems kind of like ISO basketball. But man, Houston went to the national championship with ISO basketball. They let two guys handle the ball, and then they crashed the boards, and they were fantastic. Can K-State do that with Haggerty? Does the rest of the group support that, letting him just be crazy and then kind of following him in?
Well, I love the subject because the way you described K-State in his first year, you can call it magic in a bottle or whatever you want to say. And it was a special, spectacular season. He was the national coach of the year and all of that. But he'd be the first to tell you that he had two really special talents, and I believe that this is just me now. I believe this is the most talented team he has had since that group. And we'll see how it plays. Your point about PJ, he obviously played in a system at Memphis where he had a lot of freedom. I don't know that he'll have the same amount of freedom, but I don't know that he won't either, right? That's the one thing I think. There are several things, but one of the things that they're going to get figured out, how much do you just let him kind of be him? It's like Avery, right? Turn him loose and let him go. We know he's got terrific skill set. I think they've got good talent around him in most spots. I have a little bit of concern about the 5 position in terms of, are they what we hope they can be, whether it's Buka, whether it's Kamari McGriff, whatever. But I do think this team has versatility, and I think they have more options at scoring. And I think that'll make it easier. And it also will make it easier on PJ. I think he could score a ton at times just because of the other threats on the floor. I think you're going to like Nate Johnson a lot. I think you'll like Abdi Bashir. And I mentioned the 2 foreign kids. That's that's a lot of bodies, and you can only have 5 out there at a time, fellas. I'm not trying to be funny, but I think they've got a good group of kids. But again, I'll caution everybody that the top of the league, those first 5 or 6 teams, at least in most people's mind, are as good as. You saw 6 teams ranked in the top 20 of the preseason poll, AP poll yesterday. So strap it on.
It's nuts. Yeah, you mentioned there. I share the same sentiment, Wyatt. Even just watching this team get built. Abdi Bashir was one of the first ones that they got. And it's like, oh, that's going to be their best player. And then it's like, oh, they got Kostick. And it's like, oh, he's going to be their best. Oh, no, they got PJ Haggerty. They got a 5-star now. So, yeah, I'm curious to see what it's going to look like on the court with all these guys playing together. One thing that, Jerome Tang was kind of vocal about last year is that, he didn't really like the way it all played out with so many of the transfers that came in last year. And not a knock on them, it was just the amount of turnover that they had and trying to learn together and everything like that. But he really didn't have a choice this year either to kind of do it again and bring in a lot of new bodies. Do you think that there'll be anything different of Jerome Tang this year than what we saw, the last 2 years?
Absolutely. And let's go back to what Jacob said too and combine those 2 questions, because I don't know if I did a great job of maybe explaining why I think K-State could be different. I think in the last 2 years, they have struggled to score the ball. but they've also struggled with turnovers. They've struggled with rebounding. They've got to be better in all three of those areas. I think, I don't want to make too much of this, but I think Coach Tang would. I think Coach Driscoll will help a lot. He's kind of like the offensive coordinator. If you think about it in the football realm of things or what have you. I think with Coach Peterson, they're going to be better. They've worked really, really hard on fundamentals. A couple of the guys that have told me that, as one example, Moby Ike Garuke, who is really, really bouncy and talented at 6'6" and 220-ish pounds, has improved so much, and in large part because of that. I think we've seen David Castillo get stronger and better, and he needs to get off to a good start and get some confidence, but he can help. So all of a sudden you're talking about, and I haven't even mentioned Marcus Johnson, the transfer from Bowling Green. So you're looking at, pretty good 8 or 9 guys, fellas. And that's the thing I think that excites me a little bit, because in this league, you got to have some depth, and you better have some scoring options. And I think they have the potential to have that.
Yep, they do. Wyatt, we're right up against it. We'll have another week to digest it. We'll get ready for the Sunflower Showdown next week. We appreciate it this morning. I'm ready for basketball. You guys are getting me fired up.
You better be ready. It's here, partner.
That's true. That's true. Wyatt Thompson, voice of the Wildcats, with us. We're right up against it. We're going to take a quick break. We'll look at that AP Top 25 poll as well today. We're having some fun on Sports Daily. We'll be right back.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
831001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospitalized from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
KFH.
Thanks to Prairie Fire Coffee for keeping us fueled up here on KFH, all across the Odyssey family of stations. As it was another semi-late night watching Monday Night Football. I don't know if everybody out there stayed up with both games, but the Bills go down, and then that obviously is a storyline to watch and pay attention to because it's the Bills, and for a long time we kind of considered them the best team. I'll say this about the Bills, TJ, as they fall 24-14 to Atlanta. They always do this, right? They always kind of have a little stretch where you're like, are they really that good? And then you look up and they win like 15 games. So I wouldn't put the Bills in the grave by any means. I think they'll be just fine. They have avoided the major injury bug that is plaguing some of the good teams, but they are, they're looking a little rocky. Back-to-back losses now, Patriots, Falcons. They were a little shaky against the Saints. They're certainly not, some juggernaut that's miles ahead of the rest of the league or anything like that, but they fall. So that has us pondering, well, who is the best team if it's not the Bills? And then on the other side of it, it has us pondering because Michael Penix was one of 3 of the 2024 quarterbacks in action last night. One of his better games, he looked pretty good throwing the ball. Led the Falcons to a big offensive night. Of course, Bijan Robinson had a lot to do with that too. But they looked pretty good. And so there's a Falcons story there. But the other kind of storyline for the listeners is this 2024 class. Like, how do you even try to re-rank these guys?
Yeah, that's the question. And it's interesting. It's really interesting of how you want to go about how you want to do it and everything like that. I know that you brought up earlier in the show, Jaden Daniels is the one that everybody thought looked like it was going to be after he won the Rookie of the Year last year, and he was going to be the runaway favorite. And now I do feel like everybody's kind of catching up a little bit. I think that Bo Nix was probably a name that was going to be really near the top of the list last year, and I think that everybody else is catching up a little bit. I think that Drake Mays proved himself a lot this year. I think that Caleb Williams has shown a lot more of the flashes that we wanted to see of Caleb Williams that we didn't really see a year ago. So I don't know if we're gonna play the game. I got to get my notepad out.
Well, it is. I do want to play the game, and we'll spend some time with it in the next hour. Drake May's been the best of them this year, which is pretty wild. I don't know that a lot of people saw that coming. If I go back and think about, like, what did I think about them coming in, and would I be satisfied? Right? It was For me, it was Caleb Williams, one. And then Jaden Daniels was up there. The one guy we haven't had a chance to see, who I actually also liked more than the rest of the class outside of Williams and Daniels, was J.J. McCarthy. And we haven't even really had a chance to see him play yet. So, his evaluation honestly may take into next year, because he had to sit out last year and now he's had to miss most of this year. So he's got to still just have the time to get acclimated. And before people scoff at that, I would tell you to look at Caleb Williams and to look at Michael Penix and some of these guys that, given some time, have really found a groove. And if you really had to make a call, like, you have to make the call, who of them, if you could start over and take any of them to build your franchise around, which one are you taking? I don't know that the answer is not still Jaden Daniels, but it's not a sure thing as it seemed to be a year ago. It's not anything on him. He's still playing fine. He had a pretty good game last night. It's what everybody else is doing.
Yeah, I guess the question of are we drafting to go win right now, or are we drafting based on potential?
No, you're drafting to franchise build. You're drafting to franchise build, and so we'll re-rank them. So get your notepad out. We're gonna re-rank them.
Do it. Let's do it.
So we'll do that in the next hour. We're also gonna try to answer the question of who's best team in football. And I want the listener participation. So we're setting this up for everybody. You can chime in. You can leave us comments on Facebook, YouTube, X. You can call in at 869-1240. Who's best team in football? That one, to me, is going to take a little time to sort through. Who is it? Like, who do you think the best team in football is right now? You can have this team field with the mortgage on the line. Who are you putting the mortgage behind?
I mean, I'd put it on the Chiefs, but I being a Chiefs person, I want to be a pessimist and play.
It's why I bring this. It's why I bring this topic up, because I think you might be right.
That's what everybody thought when you watched the Bills lose last night. My first thought when I saw the Bills lose last night is, God, I wish the Chiefs beat the Jaguars, man.
Well, didn't even before the Bills played that game, was that thought not already creeping back into your head a little bit?
I think it was. I think after last week, after seeing the Bills lose to the Patriots, it's like, okay, they're human, and the Chiefs look really good. I think they're right there with them. And then I think that, like, you watch the Chiefs beat the Lions, and it's like, it might be the Chiefs, but I'm going to still give the Bills the benefit of the doubt, maybe. And then it's like, okay, well, it's the Chiefs.
I think it's the Chiefs. And it's not that they're not flawed either, because they are. I say they are, but their flaws are probably more easily overcome than a lot of the other teams that are really good. And it's just like their baseline offensively seems so high right now that it's hard to imagine them. And this has been like, when was the last time the Chiefs were not in a game? The Super Bowl, right? The Super Bowl is the time that they weren't in a game. Take that game away. When was the last time they weren't in a game that they were playing? Win, lose, or draw, that they weren't in it in some capacity at the end.
I don't know if I can remember a game except for Super Bowl,
where they got their butts kicked. And so you have to, their floor is so high always. Now it feels like they're going to have the best offense in the league. I told you yesterday, Patrick Mahomes, I think, is going to win the MVP this year. Now, again, that's not necessarily the only thing that matters. It's just like it's all pointing to the offense returning to what was. My questions are all about defense, and they are right now about special teams. Andy Reid was asked about Butker yesterday. He has his back, and I get it. It's too early. Butker's not at the point where they making a change is easier said, and we've maybe not all, but a lot of us have said it in frustration this year as he just continues to make mistakes. You got to be able to replace him, and those guys aren't just walking around out there. So that's it. But it is a concern with how many close games the Chiefs play that he has not been consistent. It is a concern that before Sunday night, they're a penalty-ridden team. And, is that a one-game spinoff Or did they finally figure something out, and maybe the Jacksonville really opened their eyes to the only way we lose these games is if we beat ourselves, because that's what happened with Jacksonville. Yeah. Like, the Chiefs were so much better than the Jaguars, it was laughable that they found a way to lose that game. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's going to happen every week they play, be that much better than who they're playing, but they looked better than the Lions on Sunday night. It was a home game. I get it.
I mean, there's probably like 3 teams maybe that will like square up against the Chiefs, and like on paper, you're like, this team could be better than the Chiefs. But will they beat the Chiefs? Probably not, because the Chiefs don't make a ton of it. If they play like they did against the Lions, probably not. You know, I'd say that I'd probably stack up. I'd probably still say the Bills may have like more talent, or in the realm of talent of the Chiefs. I don't know if they're more talented when the Chiefs are fully back, I guess.
I don't think they're more talented.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But in the stratosphere of the talent, like, the Chiefs are way more talented than the Jaguars were. The Chiefs are way more talented than the Giants were, than the beat up Ravens were. Yeah, I think that if the Chiefs play like they played on Sunday, they're not going to lose to anybody. I mean, if you have a 0 penalty game and take care of business in the red zone, I mean, that's the recipe for beating literally anybody in the National Football League.
Right, and that's why I don't want to over amplify Sunday either. Because they're not going to do that every week. They're not going to not have penalties, and that's not going to happen either. The Chiefs, I don't think, are winning all of the rest of their games. But I think it's within the realm of possibility that they only lose 1 or 2. They'll be favored. You mark my words right now. The Chiefs will be favored in every game that they play the rest of the year. You gotta like, obviously, there's an asterisk for injury and things like that. But even right now, if next week the Chiefs played the Bills at Buffalo, I think the Chiefs would be like a 1-point favorite in that game. So it's Max is firing in on the message board about the Patriots. I get it, Max. Like, your Patriots are good. They're fine. They're having fun. Drake May looks great. The Patriots aren't winning a Super Bowl this year, Max. If they do, you can make fun of me all day long, but they're not going to. And I think you should be thrilled about Drake May. I think you should be thrilled about Mike Vrabel as we see the Titans fire his replacement. It is criminal that the Titans ever let Vrabel get out of there. And now Vrabel is showing his chops. He did something in the game, and it was on Red Zone, and as I'm watching it, he challenged the most seemingly small potatoes call late in the game, and it was a challenge I don't think I've ever seen. He challenged that his receiver stayed inbounds after the catch and that his butt hit the ground when they tried to stop the clock, saying he was out of bounds after the catch. They gave him the catch. He wasn't challenging the catch. He challenged whether he stayed in bounds on the catch at a point in the game where you would normally not see anything like that. And he won the challenge, and they were able to run the clock out. Like, he is so good at being an NFL head coach. And the fact that the Titans fired him and now have had to fire his replacement is hilarious to me. But Max, feel good about the Patriots. They beat the Bills. You should be happy. They're not winning the Super Bowl this year. They may hit that over that I was challenging them on. What was it? 8? 9? I don't remember what I think it was 8.5, so they'd have to get to 9. They look like they're probably getting there. The good thing, like, if you're a Patriots fan, like, they don't even have a lot of weapons yet. Their running backs are kind of meh. Even Travion Henderson, who they drafted, they're just kind of meh. Stephon Diggs has been good the last couple of weeks. Man, Drake May looks like the real deal. And we'll get to him when we re-rank our quarterbacks. The other thing we'll talk about in the next hour is this AP Top 25 poll. Now, I haven't dug into it at all. Purdue is a pretty heavy favorite, but the Big 12 is well represented yet again. 3 teams inside the top 10, and that none of those are Kansas. You've got 4 inside the top 15, 6 inside the top 20. It's loaded. It's loaded for the Big 12, and we'll get to that in the next hour as well. So, a couple of topics that we want your feedback on. Who's best team in football in the NFL? And we're redrafting the 2024 quarterback class. So we'll have that, and we'll talk about this AP Top 25 poll. I'm afraid to pull it up, DJ, but I'll do it right now. Our poll on Sauce. Oh, man.
What is it? 95?
93. 93. What? Like now, I just feel
just not
sad.
okay.
Now I feel sad for everybody that you've been
That's the thing.
incorrectly eating your bratwursts.
That's the argument here, is that it might taste better, and that might be the way that you like to eat it. And I've never had the argument here is the fact that people I guarantee that I wonder how many people actually voted. I bet 90% of the 93 have never even heard of a sausage going in a tortilla.
It's like it's not a ton. It's like 35 or 40 people, I think. But okay, fine. Now I'm set. Now everybody, the next time you have a brat, put it in a tortilla. I get it. Kraut's not everybody's thing. If you're a sauerkraut enthusiast, it's the best. Sauerkraut.
It sounds good. It's like a good burrito.
Yeah. It basically is a burrito. It's just like there's a million reasons to do it. I can't believe the results of that poll. What are we missing out on here in the Sunflower State? Put your bratwurst in a tortilla. It's better. It's better. I got demolished on that poll. We'll come back. We got another hour of Sports Daily coming your way.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
83101 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
and inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on the Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas fan headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH, this is Sports Daily.
All right, welcome back in, everybody, for another hour of Sports Daily. Jacob Albrock, TJ Cleveland with you. And we are rocking and rolling on this Tuesday. Thanks for tuning in. All the different ways that you do here over the air on KFH. You can call us if you're driving around this morning, 869-1240. If you are settled in and by your computer watching our video stream, perhaps on 12 News Connected, maybe on Facebook, YouTube X, you can leave us your video comments there. In all of those places, you can reach out to us directly on social if you'd like. If you do that for me, about the only thing I see that stuff on is X, but eventually get around to it on some of the others. This will shock everybody. And TJ, like, I'm not a huge social media guy. Don't follow along. I don't have Instagram. I don't have Venmo. I miss out on a lot in life, I think. But you can find me on X. I usually see that stuff.
There's nothing better than coming into work at 2:00 and breaking the news that happened 5 hours ago to you, like I'm Adrian Wojnarowski.
That's right. I get caught up though. Like I see it. I get there and I get settled and I'm like, whoa, did you see that? And they're like, yeah, that happened this morning. Yeah, that happened like 3 hours ago. And I'm like, well, you just have notification. Like, when do you ever not like how do you even function in life? Like, you got to just have that thing tethered to you all the time. I guess.
You do. Speaking of breaking news, Ian Rappaport, NFL insider breaking news guy, after the Titans fired Callahan yesterday, floated out the name that Chiefs offensive coordinator Matt Nagy might be a name to watch for the Titans job.
Okay.
What do you think of that?
I think it didn't go well for Mr. Nagy the last time as a head coach. So why not just try again? It's the NFL's favorite thing to do.
That'd be a very Titans move.
Yeah, it would. And maybe he'd be great this time around. Who knows? Like, it's hard. And retreads, it's not like they don't work, and second chances don't work. They do. Like, I get why it's constantly tried. Some of the great coaches of all time became some of the great coaches of all time because of their second life. Andy Reid's not the best example because he was so great in Philadelphia anyway, but guys like Bill Belichick, second chance. Pete Carroll, second chance. Like, some of these great coaches get that. So yeah, I mean, I get it. I get why you'd try it. I think Bears fans would probably laugh at it, but you never know. And the way the Chiefs offense looks now, I would have questioned it before the last couple of weeks because I think their offense has kind of underachieved the last couple of years. But they've certainly looked good this year. But We'll get into who is the best right now. It's all coming on tap. It's all brought to you by Wichita Brewing Company, featuring Oktoberfest, the deeply copper-colored German-style lager that'll make you click your heels, grab your stein, and follow the copper brick road to the land of Oktoberfest. Wichita Brewing Company, pizza and beer made here. We'll have those for you. We are opening up the topics of who's the best team in the NFL, and we're redrafting the 2024 quarterback class. So that's coming up in the hour. Before we do those, though, TJ, I want to talk about this AP Top 25 basketball poll. We get a look at it. Purdue's at the top. Okay. I don't know what that means. They've been there before. It's nothing new. It's as hard to decipher this as it ever has been because basically everybody's going to turn so much over. I think for what we care about, you mentioned with Wyatt Thompson that K-State's getting votes. I think that's interesting. And I think you can justify it with Haggerty going there. But I think that the big takeaways for me and what we care about, no AAC teams in there, and that Kansas is coming in at 19 after back-to-back years as preseason number 1. And I could not be more thrilled for Kansas to be number 19 instead of number 1. I know we're not supposed to care about these polls, and I know they're not supposed to mean anything, but they do. They absolutely do. And Kansas was never the best team in the country at any point in the last 2 years. And it was this burden that they bore, I think. I think psychologically it was like it felt it because they were preseason number 1s. Those years felt like wild disappointments. Now maybe they were, but it set an expectation that made it difficult. Now, when they may very well have a better team, to get to start at 19 is much better, in my opinion. So I think it's a great news for Kansas that they sit there at 19. And no AAC teams. I mean, that's a kick in the pants. That kind of sucks, but it's reality right now.
It's pretty comical to go back the last 2 years and look at the preseason comments that the Jayhawks have made. I know that Hunter Dickinson made one his first year he came to Kansas, and it said something along the lines of like, you know what, I like being number 1, so everybody knows that we're the best team in the country.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that was not a good year. And then the next year, Bill Self last year at Late Night in the Fog said, we've got a roster that you're going to absolutely love. And then they weren't ranked in the top 25 as they went to the postseason. So, yeah, I think that this is a different mentality of this KU team. I think that it's going to be fun to watch this. Like, nobody knows what this team is going to look like. I think that there's a lot of pieces that were kind of fly under the radar pieces in the transfer portal. And then obviously the freshmen are going to be awesome. And so it's going to be a young team. It's going to go back to kind of the olden days of Bill Self recruiting out of high school a ton. And I think it's going to be a ton of fun. I'm really excited to watch this team.
I am too. You're very high on them. I am, I think, high. But I am like, I don't live and die by the recruiting quite as much as a lot of KU fans. And so until I see Darren Peterson play, and even if he is the best freshman Bill Self's ever coached and all of these things, that's not going to be enough to win the Big 12.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you think back to the Wiggins year when they brought in like 9 of the top 50 and it didn't work.
Well, it's not, that's and that's the obvious part. But what I'm saying is, even if Peterson is the best player in the country, that doesn't mean they're going to achieve their goals as a team. So for me with Kansas, it's far less about Peterson. I'll trust Bill Self on how he looks, and more about how do all these other pieces fit together? Like, we know Flory's there and we know Peterson's going to run the point. Do we know anything else about Kansas right now?
Nope. I mean, there's projections of who you think the starters are going to be. ESPN thinks it's going to be Peterson, Melvin Council from St. Bonaventure, Jaden Dawson from Loyola Chicago, and Trey White from Illinois, and then Flory is your starting 5, which is probably pretty close to what it will be. But yeah, I mean, like I said, you know, we saw Flory play for KU last year, and that's it.
So
we saw one, I guess 2. We saw 2 guys on that list play Power 4 basketball. Power 5.
So it's like expectations. Like, I don't know how to set them for Kansas. I don't think it's fair to say, well, they ought to win the Big 12. I don't know that that's fair. But what I do think is fair is to say Kansas's expectation this year should be to be in the Sweet 16. That to me feels like I don't know what that means for where they finish in the Big 12. I can't sit here and pick them over Houston or pick them over Tech or probably BYU, although I'm more inclined to lean into Houston and Tech as much as I loved BYU last year. I don't know anything about the players other than they brought in a superstar freshman too. How much of last year's team did they bring back? Those guys were all like 30 years old. Did any of them come back?
Yeah, Richie Saunders is back.
So okay. And this is the college basketball for me, especially now. It's always been this way for me. Now it's even more like, man, I gotta see these teams play. And I just like doing a preseason ranking right now with all the turnover that happens. Like, how do we even do that? I have to see people play.
Basketball might be, I guess, I don't know. Basketball might be harder to rank in the preseason than football is because there's
absolutely is
so many teams and like guys come from everywhere. Like in football, at least the transfer portal is like usually like pretty lateral, like power 4 to power 4, like maybe climbing up to from Big 12 to the SEC or something like that. In college basketball, like we were talking about with KState, they got 2 guys from Europe. They got a guy from Monmouth, a guy from UNC Wilmington. So, it's impossible to know what these teams are going to be. The good part about basketball, though, is that there's more room for error than there is in football. In football, that preseason top 25 is a big deal because that's kind of what's going to shape the rest of the season until proven differently. In basketball, like, you can be completely wrong on the preseason top 25 because you're going to watch these guys play 40 times and you're going to know what the top 25 is whenever you go into the postseason. And it doesn't matter when you go into the postseason in basketball either.
I mean, there are things in it that we can predict. Like, I would tell you right now that I would bet you Iowa is inside the top 25 by the end of the year. Ben McCollum will be successful there. Like, there are little things like that where you can kind of and there's no way to do this, at least that I'm going to spend the time to do. But when we look at this top 25, I would be willing to bet that more than half, and it may be a much larger number than that, are turning over 60% at minimum of their starting lineup from a year ago. So what are we doing here? Like, there's so much turnover, and I like that the polls exist. I like them. I like that they're there, but just don't lose much sleep over it. We got to see it play. But that's out there. When we come back, let's re-rank the 2024 quarterback class. 3 of them on display last night. 2 of them looked really good. 1 looked okay. We'll get into it next.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
83101 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospitalized from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Sports Daily is on KFH.
Can't count on much, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Watch your local NFL game all season long. Kicks off with a juicy Week 7 matchup between the Raiders and the Chiefs. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. The rare noon kickoff for the Chiefs. You'll watch it on KWCH this weekend, where you can watch us right now on 12 News Connected. Glad to be here with you. It's Jake Ballbrock. It's TJ Cleveland.
Jacob, let me tell you, a noon kick for the Chiefs this week, 11 a.m. kick for the Sunflower Showdown next week is a TV person's dream, and we got both.
Yeah, it's time to put an end to the primetime madness. I'm good with not having those for a while. All right, let's look at the 2024 class. 3 of them TJ played last night. Michael Penix took down the Bills. Caleb Williams took down Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels playing with a kind of a limited offense right now. Daniels has battled some injuries this year, missing some weapons. Caleb Williams finally getting, his team healthy this year. He's got a decent line. We've seen Bo Nix win a lot of games in his young career. So remember, a reminder to the class of last year, there were 6 of them in the first round. Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, Drake May, J.J. McCarthy, Michael Penix, Bo Nix. I want to redraft him because Drake May has been one of the best quarterbacks in football this year, with probably less to work with than some of his counterparts. So we know who Max is taking in this. Max is taking his boy Drake May. Max, the Super Patriots fan. Jason chimes in on YouTube and says he would take Caleb Williams at 1. Just needs the right talent around him, coach. The other quarterbacks all have lower ceilings, in my opinion. I think that's an interesting take. I came into it, and don't hold me to this and like pull up the tape. I know that I had Caleb Williams 1. I believe that I had Jaden Daniels 2. I think I had McCarthy 3, Penix 4. And then I know that I put Bo Nix last, and Drake May was my big question mark because I never watched him play in college. I didn't have a take really on Drake May. So we look at it now, TJ. All of them are playing pretty well. If you go by quarterback rating, it goes Drake May, Jaden Daniels, and Caleb Williams this year almost identical. Then Bo Nix, and then Michael Penix. J.J. McCarthy, you've got to kind of toss to the side. He still hasn't really played yet. So if we were to redraft them right now, how would it go? With the number 1 overall pick in the 2024 quarterback redraft, TJ Cleveland's on the clock. Who are you taking?
Caleb Williams.
Wow, I did not think you'd say that. I have felt like I'm on an island with him, and now we've got one listener and you both saying Caleb Williams.
I think if you're, I don't know. I think if it's a different argument if you're talking about if you want to go win right now, if you want to go win, build a franchise, if you want to pick a fantasy quarterback for yourself.
We have to also take them. We also have to take them in their situation currently. Like it's too hard to imagine them all from scratch, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, if I'm, I don't know. I mean, I think from what we've seen so far, if you had the Bears have the first pick, is the argument that we're making here. I think the Bears would pick Caleb Williams. I think that, like, you have to – I mean, I know that the NFL tape's the most important stuff, but, I mean, he was the best player in college football. And, like, I think it's Caleb Williams just from the sheer fact of, like, you know what he can do. Like, you've seen him make some crazy plays. And it's like last year – you kind of just have to throw everything from last year out the window, I feel like, honestly, with what we've seen this year.
You do. I agree with that. I agree with that. Here's where this gets into it. And look, I think it's totally reasonable that all 6 of these guys are good and they have long careers in the NFL. That's the good news for all of us. We're having fun re-ranking them. There's a decent chance, a better than even chance, I think, that all of them are quarterbacks in this league for at least, let's call it 7 years. Right? Like we got lucky with this class as football fans because it looks like they all are going to be good. J.J. McCarthy, we just don't know yet, but he's in a perfect situation. Like he was dropped into a perfect situation. So I'm hopeful for him. Here's where it gets hard for me because we've already seen Jaden Daniels get hurt this year. I think Jaden Daniels, as much as I like Caleb Williams, I do think Jaden Daniels is the most talented in the class. The throws that he made last year, the abilities and the skill set he has are the closest thing to Lamar Jackson we've seen in football. And I think he's really good. I think the problem for him this year is they've got not a lot of weapons for him to work with. I mean, Luke McCaffrey, Zach Ertz, without Terry McLaurin there, who's great, but he's hurt. They're kind of slow and old on offense. Deebo Samuel's a little nicked up. So I will say the thing that holds me back on taking him 1, though, is the potential for him to get hurt. One thing he did last year pretty well, though, was protect himself. So I will go ahead and man, everybody knows I love Caleb Williams as a player. I'll still take Jaden Daniels 1 because I think he has an unmatchable skill set. And I think he can make all the throws. I don't know if he's as good throwing while moving around as Caleb Williams. That's why Williams has always kind of had those Mahomes comps to him. is because he can hit all the different weird throwing angles and do all that stuff. They're both in great situations. They're both going to be really good. So now, if that's the case, because I'll take Williams too. I assume you'll take Jaden Daniels too, or are you giving the nod to young Drake May?
It really feels like it's like a 2A, 2B situation for this one. It's really tough for me to pick between Jaden Daniels and Drake May. But I think from a standpoint of, I guess, to go against my first argument, I think that Jaden Daniels has shown enough to get that second pick. If we were redrafting from the college tape of what we've seen, I'd probably pick Drake May over Jaden Daniels. But I think that Jaden Daniels proved that he can be a really good NFL quarterback. So I'll go Jaden Daniels too.
Jaden Daniels can be an MVP. As I look at that's the other thing to think about. Like if we look at it and said, which one of these guys could be an MVP? It's Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
Right. And so his ceiling to me is the highest. I disagree with Jason, the listener, on that. I think Jaden Daniels' ceiling is the highest. I think he like his availability is going to be his big question.
I don't know. I don't think I agree with that. I think that Caleb's is the highest. I think Jaden has the highest floor. Is the argument to make?
I think that what Jaden Daniels can do on the ground, when you think about ceilings and you think about Lamar Jackson last year, that's one of one. Only one guy can have a season like Lamar Jackson had last year, and it's Lamar Jackson. So, but that doesn't necessarily make him the best, right? I still think Patrick Mahomes is the best. And I'd probably still take Josh Allen over Lamar Jackson, although I think it's very close. But only one guy can do statistically the things that Lamar Jackson did last year, and it's Lamar Jackson. That's what I like. Jaden Daniels is that guy, right? Caleb Williams, if he can get it all right, and Caleb Williams hasn't shown to be like the kind of it factor thing that Mahomes has had since day one in the NFL. So that's what he has to overcome. And then you have Drake May, who has been the best of this group this year, clearly. He's been one of the best quarterbacks in football. He's got to what seems like all the it stuff, like Mahomes, right? And maybe a little less, like he can't run like Daniels. He probably can't throw like Caleb, but he's got the it stuff. And it's like, all right, how do you factor that in? Well, he's playing in a place where the it stuff mattered a lot, and he looks a little like that guy. He's probably a little more athletic, but it's just, man, he's really good. And he also, of this group we're talking about, every single one of them, I would argue, has by far the least to work with offensively. Less than the two we've already talked about, less than JJ McCarthy, less than Michael Penix, less than Bo Nix. He has the least to work with, and he has been the best quarterback of the group this year.
Yeah. Drake May's my third as well. I was really confused about Drake May coming into the season. And I know that, like, in fantasy, some people are still taking Drake May, like, I mean, top half of the NFL-ish, like, right around that range. And I'm like, man, like, I don't know if I like the Drake May situation. Like you said, he's in New England. It's like, I mean, he did some cool stuff in college, but I don't know how much it's going to translate. Like, but I mean, yeah, he's one of the best quarterbacks in football this year. As you said, he's top 5 in passing yards. I'm looking at here. I think in QBR, he's top 10 as well. So he's proven it. He's put it on the tape. We saw in that Bills game in prime time. He didn't have the greatest stats in that game, but seeing the throws that he made in that game is nuts to see how talented he is. I think that he is the franchise quarterback there. So, like I said, I had a tough time between him and Jaden Daniels because I think that evidently I went with eventually I went with Jaden because of the higher floor. I think that Drake May has a lower floor than Jaden Daniels, but I think Drake May's got all the potential in the world to be awesome, like better than Jaden, better than Caleb potentially. But I think he's 3.
They're taking us into a golden era. They're taking us into an era, I think, where we're going to see an even league. The days of Mahomes and Jackson and Allen sort of dominating are they're not over. They'll still last a little longer. But when these guys get into their golden era, it's going to be wild in this league to try to sort it out if they all continue to progress. So then fourth, I'm going to take a risk here at 4 and still say JJ McCarthy. I like JJ McCarthy. I really liked him coming out. I think that he kind of is old school a little bit and looks like more of just kind of a pocket passer a little bit. He can run a little bit, He's got to get healthy, though. I think he's in the perfect situation to succeed. Obviously, all the weapons in the world in Minnesota with the quarterback whisperer at coach. He's like, if he doesn't succeed, it's not anything but his ability. But we got to get him back out there. He hasn't looked good through 8 quarters. That's how much we've seen him. But I'll still take a stab at it and put him 4 on my list.
Yeah, I don't have that on mine. I put Bo Nix at number 4 on mine because I think that, just from the rookie year that he had, he put up such stupid stats. And I think that Bo Nix is like a weird anomaly because, like, I feel like Bo Nix may have like the least amount of talent of the 4 guys that we've put on paper so far.
Yeah,
but he's just a freaking grinder, dude. Like, he's awesome.
He is. That stuff wears out in the NFL to me, though.
It does. That's why I think that it's like dying down from his rookie. If we did this experiment last year in like December, it's like Bo Nix is awesome. He might be number 1.
Bo Nix is. I'm happy for Bo Nix. I liked watching Bo Nix in college. I never thought he was going to be a good pro. I do think he's with the right coach, who's going to know how to get the most out of him. But I actually would put him at the bottom of my list. I took McCarthy there, and then I'll take Penix. Penix is, Penix feels like probably the last guy on the list. I get that, and I think that's fair. He does still, though, his arm talent's still high. He did not look great last year. He's looked pretty good this year. He's looking pretty good this year. That was a really nice performance from him yesterday. And what's interesting about it is the Bills had to know what he wanted to do. He doesn't throw the ball to anybody but Drake London. And then from time to time, Bijan Robinson. And go stop it. And they couldn't. He doesn't run much, which some of these guys in this group do. But I think as he goes along in the league, he'll continue to progress. They'll get Darnell Mooney back at some point. But like, I do think it's interesting against that team that he basically put it out there and said, come stop us. He targeted Drake London 16 times in that game last night, and I couldn't stop it. I thought that was interesting. And so I'll put him there, and then I'll put Bo Nix last. I think Bo Nix is just not as talented as the others. But I do think he can make up for that with a lot of the things you talked about. And I also think he's paired with the right head coach for him to be successful. But if we're redrafting it, if we're taking, like, I just don't know that his talent holds up, especially with the top 4. But I'm proud of the career he's had because I had no expectation for him coming into the league.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. So I'll round up mine. You give me the rest of yours. So I said I went Bo Nix at number 4. So I'll go JJ McCarthy at number 5. I think it's just a ceiling argument for him. He might not be it, but he's got the ceiling to think that what we've seen in the 4 times we've seen him put on the Vikings purple, that he could be really, really good. So just for that argument, I put him there. Then after him, I'm not putting Michael Penix. I'm putting Spencer Rattler. Jacob,
was he in the class? He wasn't in the first round. I thought this was his 3rd year. He was drafted last year.
Okay. I can't
Okay.
remember what round. It was late. But give me Spencer Rattler over Michael Penix is the argument that I want to make. I think that Spencer Rattler has been a top half quarterback in the NFL this year.
He's got arm talent.
His team sucks, and he's still making it work. And that's the only argument that I can make here is the fact that, like, if you put him on the Falcons, I think they'd be awesome.
Does anybody throw it harder than him? Like, he throws the ball so hard. God, it's a rifle back there. And I get it too. Like, 3-4 years ago in college, like, he was the prodigy. It wasn't even Caleb Williams. It was Spencer Rattler. He has been, I've been pretty impressed with him. I don't disagree with that. And I also don't think his team is like, he's got Kamara, he's got Olave, and he's got Rashid Shaheed. He doesn't have nothing there. Does he have more talent on offense than Bo Nix? Like, Bo Nix has Cortland Sutton and J.K. Dobbins.
I don't know. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, he was a 5th round pick, 150th overall. So, and there was just a lot of questions.
That I forgot he was in that class. Yeah, he's
I think he's basically a year older than everybody except for Penix, because Penix was a medical redshirt guy from Indiana and everything like that. But yeah, he was in that draft class too. But yeah, I think he's been good. He's been my starting quarterback in the 32-team league, and he's helped me stay alive. So I don't know if it's going to run out, but I mean, I think there was a lot of questions about if it was going to be him or Tyler Shuck, and nobody knew. Like, they drafted a quarterback in they drafted Shuck in the second round, I think, something like that. Like,
yeah, it felt like a middle finger to Shedeur Sanders is what it felt like.
Yeah, it
but
was.
yeah, when they took Shuck.
But
I think
I mean, Rattler's put it on the tape, man. I think he's been awesome. I think that I'm putting him above Penix. They're the same age. I think they're the same quarterback, honestly. I don't think they're that much different. I think that there was just more question marks around Penix, and I think that Rattler had the ceiling from when he was like 15 years old. He's on that Netflix show. He's obviously had the ceiling forever. And so it's a toss-up. I'll take Spencer Rattler just for radio purposes, but I think Spencer Rattler.
All of that, and what's so funny is it is still like all the old heads that are leading the league in most categories. Jared Goff leading the league in touchdowns, and he's having an incredible year. Dak Prescott, Baker Mayfield, Matt Stafford, Josh Allen, Sam Darnold, Patrick Mahomes. Like, that's your top touchdown list of quarterback. Like, all these great young quarterbacks, and it's still all these old dudes that are getting it done. I've heard people say that quarterbacks aren't very good, and maybe that's a fantasy football thing. There aren't very many bad quarterbacks starting in the NFL right now, and it makes the league so much more fun and better, and it makes upsets more wild and possible. It's the best when we have great quarterback play.
That's the fancy argument, is not the fact that quarterbacks are bad. It's that every quarterback is pretty good, and there's not really any outliers like there are.
Same.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I'll ask you this while we got like a minute left here. What would your rankings be if Cam Ward was in that class?
Cam Ward would be last, and Bryce Young would be second to last.
Bryce Young? No, that's not true.
Yes, it is.
Bryce
you taking
Young
Bryce Young over in that class?
I'd take Bryce Young over. I'd take him over J.J. McCarthy, Spencer Rattler, and Michael Penix. Cam Ward, I might take over Spencer Rattler and Michael Penix, maybe.
I mean, I'd take him over. Well, maybe that's another conversation. I almost went there with Bryce Young. It's too early on Cam Ward. He does not look good. Cam Ward doesn't. All right, we'll come back. We'll finish that thought, and then we'll move into who's the best team in the NFL as we're having fun on a Tuesday on Sports Daily. Albrocht, Cleveland. Don't go away.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
83101 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite, or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospitalized from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Is Sports Daily on KFH.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Glad to be here with you. If you want to win some HTO, iced tea, a free one on us, more than 25 flavors to choose from, available at East Wichita, West Wichita, or in Derby. All you have to do right now is text the keyword T to the short code 20357. That's T to 20357. You can enter once per day. Message and data rates apply. Good luck, everybody. We come back. TJ tossed in a little grenade to the end of the discussion about the 2024 class of where would you put Cam Ward in that? I would put him last. I wouldn't take Cam Ward over any of those players.
That's crazy.
I then countered with Bryce Young. Where would I put Bryce Young? Maybe over Bo Nix. Over Spencer Rattler, I would, but I don't. And it's not even necessarily a knock on Bryce Young. It's a nod to the class. I don't think I would. Who are you taking him over?
I mean, I think if you're redrafting, I'd probably pick him over JJ McCarthy in my rankings. But I had JJ below Bo Nix. I don't think he's better than Bo Nix if we're redrafting, but he might be better than JJ McCarthy, and I think that he's shown you the flashes. I also think that there's the argument that, he's played in Carolina with nobody. Like, they've got Tet now, but, like, he got to Carolina. They got rid of DJ Moore to get it. Like, they didn't have anybody on their team. And he's I think there's an argument to be made. I mean, he
has flashed, and when he flashes, he looks really good. He throws too many interceptions. He's not accurate enough yet, but he looks miles ahead of Cam Ward. Yeah, but I don't know if I'm taking him over the 24 guys. I really don't. Not the first round 24 guys. It's an interesting, I mean, it's luck of the draw on what year you pick. It is. There's 6 of them in 1 year, and in those other 2 years before and after, there might not even be one that you feel great about. It's a tough deal. And now the Titans fire their coach, and whatever. Who's the best team in football? That's where we head next. Jason chimes in. He says his is Kansas City too. There are a couple fluke plays from beating Philadelphia and Jacksonville. Their overabundance of players on the offense looks amazing. I agree. I won't say they should have beat Philadelphia. I'll say they could have beat Philadelphia. They should have beat Jacksonville for sure. There's no question about that. TJ, if the line is this good, I don't know how they're not going to score a ton of points every time they play.
I agree. I mean, my biggest thing, like I said earlier, is that whenever you have this argument as a guy that's a Chiefs fan, a guy that covers the Chiefs, like I'm trying to find ways to not wear the Chiefs colored glasses, but like they just keep proving me wrong. It's the Chiefs. Like, and I don't want to just say that and sound like we're just a Chiefs show and we talk about the Chiefs, but like it's the Chiefs. Like if it wasn't the Chiefs,
it's not. I struggle with this too, and it's fun sometimes. Like when I go on the national stuff here and talk to people all over the country, because everybody's ready to put the nail in the Chiefs outside of this part of the world. Yeah. And in this part of the world, I think it was as pessimistic probably at the beginning of this year as I can remember it. What's funny about that is 2 years ago when they weren't winning all the games and they had to go on the road in the playoffs and do all those things, I actually was confident. I was like, I'm not too worried about it. Right? Last year, when they were winning all the regular season games, I was terrified of their chances. I was like, this line is going to get Mahomes killed. They're not going to be like, it's going to be a problem. And they just kept finding ways. And I'm like, okay, like, all right. Now this year again, as they've quote unquote struggled at the beginning of the year, I'm like, guys, like, I don't like this offense could be like 2019, 2020, like those kinds of crazy years good. I don't know how, if that line blocks that way, I don't know how they are not going to score a ton of points on the stretch.
Yeah, I think that it's the Chiefs. I agree. I think that the bigger argument becomes who's number 2, because if it wasn't the Chiefs, like, I mean, it was the Bills. I feel like it's what we'd all been saying, and then they lost 2 straight, and then that's kind of out the window. And then it's like you think it might be the Eagles, and then it's like, well, we've seen them.
Yeah, no, it's not the Eagles right now.
And so, like, is it the Bucs? Are the Bucs the second best team in football?
Maybe. And we're all not giving the Colts enough credit, and I get it because I'm not going to either. I think the Bucs have something cooking. I really do. I think that keep an eye on Baltimore if they can get Jackson back in time. I still think Buffalo is going to be there. Buffalo could absolutely beat Kansas City, and they could absolutely beat them in the postseason. They're just kind of in a little lull right now. But again, like, I feel like they do this sometimes. But to me, like, if you've got to just pick one, I think it's Kansas City, because they can, and it's because of the thing that killed them last year, which is their offensive line. It doesn't matter to me. Like, Rashee Rice is going to make the offense better for sure. But they're not going to be this great offense. And everyone's like, oh, Rice is back. Finally. No, like, it's because the line's really good. Like, they had a good offense even when Rice hasn't been there. And he's going to add to it. And I think he probably takes some pressure off of Travis Kelce, if nothing else. But it's the line. It's the offensive line. Keeping Mahomes up. It doesn't matter who's out there at receiver. If Mahomes has enough time, somebody is going to get open for them, because they just have too many. Like, whether it's Juju or Hollywood or Rasheed or Tyquan Thornton this year or Travis Kelce. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Rice will make them better because I think he's the most talented guy in the room. But he's not the reason to me why it's like this offense could be historic. It's because you finally, for the first time in, when was the last time Patrick Mahomes had a really good pass blocking offensive line?
Probably
Eric Fisher.
I don't know. I mean, who was
At
on the
left
20?
tackle?
I can't remember. Was the 2022 offensive line good?
It was Orlando Brown. It was serviceable. Orlando Brown was certainly better than his replacement, but I don't know that it was amazing, which is why they were willing to let him go. It certainly wasn't like it is now. Like what we're seeing this year has a chance to be the best offensive line Patrick Mahomes ever played with.
Yeah.
And that is a scary proposition. As he is willing to do more with his legs to kind of boost the run game a little bit, which is a little stagnant, they're going to be hard to get off the field. My question for the Chiefs in this conversation is, can their defense be good enough? If they go and they're playing a cold weather, nasty, windy, awful, ugly conditions game, if they don't have Harrison Butker as this nails kicker that he's been most of his career, making every clutch kick in the postseason that he's made over his career, right? He has been an absolute weapon and a big reason why they've won Super Bowls. So if you can't count on that and the defense takes a slight step back, and I'll give them a chance to get better over the course of the season, I just am not sure they've got the talent that they've had. That's where I get into a little bit of question with Kansas City, is when the weather turns and it's January and maybe they're playing in some brutal conditions. I do think they're a little less than in the areas that have helped them win those games than they have been in years past.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait till we get to Thursday or Friday, Jake, and we run into Chiefs topics to talk about, so you can finally have your 30-minute Harrison Butker discussion with everybody.
It's not a 30-minute discussion. You keep shaking your head, TJ. It's a problem right now.
It is. It is. I will admit, like you were on it before anybody else. I'll say, and it's gotten worse, and I don't know what they do about it and everything like that. But it's hilarious.
There's not really anything to do about it, and so that's. Like in the moment, and frustrated Chiefs fans like, "I'll move on to the next guy. Nobody's that important." And I agree, but you got to replace him, right? Like you got to have a replacement plan. And he's, even if he's making a mistake a game or whatever, like there's a lot of kickers. You're not going to find one off the street that's going to kick better than what is he kicking right now? 80%, 75%. Yeah. But the problem, the concern that I've had from day one isn't that like they can just replace him easily. It's that his golden leg has been a reason that they have won games in this dynasty. And if he doesn't have that, like if he's not that dude, maybe they don't win as many close ones. And so that's, for me, that's the alarm bell. Like, whoa, like he may cost him a game. He may cost him the Jacksonville game. Those little things could happen. It's not those little things are annoying. It's what happens in the postseason. Can he hit that 52-yarder into the wind with a game on the line? Like that changes how you play those games. And I don't care what anybody says. Andy Reid can be as rosy as he wants. If it's late in a game in a critical spot and he doesn't have that ultimate confidence in his kicker, he's got to make a different decision. Like that changes the outcome of games potentially.
It's true. It's true. I just shake my head every time because it's hilarious. I think the Chiefs could win by 45 points and you'd still find a way to bring it back to Butker if he missed a PAT.
Because it could matter in the postseason.
It's true. I'll give you that. I'm not calling you crazy here. It just makes me laugh. That's one of your biggest complaints every week. Yeah, I agree. I think that this Chiefs team is going to be different because I think that this Chiefs team, like I've said, is that what they've done so well is that they don't make mistakes in the playoffs, and they don't like. And I think that this team, I don't think that they're susceptible to mistakes. I think that they're going to have to win by, maybe some talent, which they have, and they've had more talent than they have in the past couple of years. But I think that, as you said, the run game is something that whenever you go play on the road, that maybe the run game isn't going to be ready to go in a snowy game or something like that. And I don't know if they're going to be able to throw the ball like that. There's questions about the Chiefs team, but I do think that this is the year that it's like they've got the dudes to do it. Like, it's not going to be they've got Andy Reid and they've got the system. Like, they've got dudes that can just make plays this year.
That's right. It feels closer to on the talent level. I think that's it. I mean, they're there in talent. Couple comments. Rick chiming in on McCarthy. He says, I don't get Jacob's obsession on McCarthy. He couldn't even throw in college. I would disagree with that. His final 2 years, he threw 44 touchdowns and 9 interceptions and almost a 70% completion percentage and won a national championship. So I think he could probably throw in college a little bit. And then Rick also said they need to figure out the Simmons situation. Hopefully all's okay with his personal issue. I haven't heard anything else about the personal issue.
Did you hear what Andy Reid said yesterday? Is that he's not sure if he's going to be back this week.
Something bad has happened, and you hate that.
We don't know what's going on.
And you also have to realize, and I've seen people like, oh, he needs to get back and do what he needs to do. And Chris Jones came back. I'm like, guys, this is a young man, like a very young man. We have no idea what's happened.
No.
It could be something tragic. Who knows?
Yeah. I guess here, Andy Reid didn't say that. Andy Reid did not answer questions on if he will be back. So make your own infer.
Yeah, he shouldn't answer those questions. As long as it's not, Simmons involved directly, which I haven't heard anything like that. Yeah. Then you give him the time he needs. And you got Jalen Moore there now. But yeah, they need long term. You will hopefully figure that out. All right, we'll come back. We got a little more Sports Daily. Don't go anywhere.